A man paid for a black woman's coffee when he saw her card was declined. Unaware she was a millionaire CEO who had been ruthlessly humiliated and fired 6 months earlier by the same man now standing behind her in line. "Card declined again, ma'am. Do you have another one?" The barista at the bustling Seattle coffee shop repeated, her tone edged with impatience as the morning rush swelled behind Camila Santos. At 35, Camila felt a familiar heat in her chest, not embarrassment, but a steely resolve. She'd learned that moments like these exposed the true character of those around her more than they ever could about her. Her corporate card had been canceled 6 months ago, a casualty of her abrupt exit from Cascade Ventures. Her personal accounts, though, were meticulously managed, a testament to her disciplined rise from a working-class upbringing in Oakland. "Try this one," Camila said, her voice steady as she handed over another card. Declined again. The barista, a young woman with a nose ring and a Seahawks cap, sighed audibly, her eyes flicking to the growing line. That's when a voice, smooth and self-assured, sliced through the hum of the coffee shop like a well-aimed dart. "Hey, barista, just put her coffee on my tab." Camila turned slowly. There he was, Nathan Caldwell, 52, with salt and pepper hair swept back in a way that screamed tech money, a tailored Patagonia vest over a crisp white shirt, and a smug grin that could sell a startup to Silicon Valley sharks. The same Nathan who, 6 months ago, had sat across from her in a sleek boardroom and said, "Camila, you bring a lot of energy to the table, but maybe it's time to explore roles that better suit your background." The same Nathan who had orchestrated her ousting from Cascade Ventures, the tech firm she'd helped catapult to a $2 billion valuation as chief strategy officer. "No, thank you," Camila replied, her tone polite but laced with frost. "Oh, come on, it's just coffee." Nathan chuckled, flashing his Apple Watch at the payment reader with a flourish. "580 won't bankrupt me." The payment cleared instantly, and Camila accepted the coffee with a murmured, "Thank you," her eyes tracking Nathan as he sauntered toward a corner table reserved for the city's tech elite. To him, she was just another stranger down on her luck, a feel-good anecdote for his next TED Talk about giving back. He had no clue who she was, or who she was becoming. As Camila headed for the exit, she felt the weight of the portfolio in her messenger bag. Inside were investor commitments, signed contracts, and a blueprint for vengeance forged over 6 months of relentless planning. She paused at the door, glancing back. Nathan was already engrossed in his MacBook, oblivious to the storm brewing just steps away. If you've ever been underestimated by someone who should have known your worth, you know revenge isn't served hot. It's served cold, calculated, and at the moment your adversary feels untouchable. Subscribe to this story to discover how a $5 coffee sparked the most dramatic corporate takedown Seattle's tech scene has ever seen. 6 months earlier, Camila had walked into Cascade Ventures' glass-walled boardroom in downtown Seattle, her tablet loaded with a 48-slide presentation that could pull the company back from the brink. It was the product of weeks of late nights, poring over market trends and consumer data no one else had dared to touch. "Gentlemen," she began, adjusting her glasses as she synced her tablet to the projector, "our data shows we can not only weather this downturn, but triple our market share in 24 months. The room fell silent. Nathan Caldwell, seated at the head of the table, toyed with a $10,000 Shinola watch, a gift from his venture capitalist father. Flanking him were 4 other executives, tech bros in identical all-birds and button-downs, all beneficiaries of generational wealth. "Bold vision, Camila," Nathan said, barely glancing at the screen. "But aren't you overreaching? Cascade has a legacy, 3 decades of doing things a certain way." Legacy was Nathan's code for, "We don't trust outsiders like you to steer the ship." Camila pressed on, undeterred. For 2 hours, she laid out airtight projections, consumer insights mined from social media analytics, and a pivot to sustainable tech that could redefine the industry. The applause was tepid, a polite golf clap. "Thank you, Camila. We'll review your ideas, Nathan said, his smile dripping with condescension. 3 weeks later, Cascade Ventures unveiled a game-changing sustainability initiative. Camilla's plan, word for word, pitched by Nathan as his own brainchild. The company's stock soared, and Nathan pocketed a $3 million bonus. Camilla? Not even a nod. When she confronted him, he summoned her to his minimalist office overlooking Puget Sound. Camilla, you're intense, he said, leaning back in a $5,000 Eames chair. Maybe it's time to find a role more aligned with your vibe. Nonprofits, maybe? They'd love your passion. Now, striding through Seattle's drizzle with Nathan's charity coffee in hand, Camilla allowed herself a rare smile, not of gratitude but of anticipation. Her bag held the founding documents of Horizon Strategies, a consulting firm she'd built in secret over the past 6 months. 17 former Cascade employees had joined her. Brilliant minds Nathan had sidelined for not fitting his frat house culture. Black, Latina, Asian, queer, they were the talent he'd dismissed as not our brand. Each carried a grudge, insider knowledge, and a hunger for justice. Her phone buzzed. A text from Priya Patel, Cascade's former data scientist, fired for cultural misalignment. Read, being a first-generation Indian American who challenged Nathan's half-baked AI strategy. Meeting set for tomorrow. Brought a surprise. Full backups of Cascade's internal Slack channels, including Nathan's private chats. Camilla inhaled deeply. Nathan had made the fatal error of underestimating the woman he'd humiliated. Every slight, every stolen idea, every patronizing smirk was etched in her memory, fueling the machine she'd built with surgical precision. The next day, on the 18th floor of a sleek co-working space in Pioneer Square, Camilla sat at the head of a conference table surrounded by 17 professionals, the best of Cascade's discarded talent. Priya connected her laptop to the projector, a glint in her eye. You're gonna love this. The screen flared with a trove of Slack messages Nathan thought he'd erased. This one's a gem, Priya said, pulling up a chat from 18 months ago. Need to streamline the team. Too much diversity is throwing off our vibe. Camilla's too pushy for her role. The room bristled with anger. Javier Torres, a former product manager axed for questioning budget cuts, clenched his jaw. There's more, Priya continued, opening a file. Here's Nathan plotting to take Camilla's sustainability plan. Her strategy's a goldmine, but we can't let a non-core employee get the spotlight. I'll pitch it as mine. Camilla stayed composed, but her eyes burned with purpose. This is just the warm-up. Priya, show them the federal contracts. The next bombshell landed. Nathan had fudged diversity stats on government bids, claiming a diverse leadership team while 90% of Cascade's execs were white men from Ivy League networks. Fraud, muttered Lena Carter, a former legal counsel. That's prison time. It is, Camilla said, her smile sharp. But first, let's have some fun. She leaned forward. Nathan's biggest mistake yesterday? Paying for my $5.80 coffee? The room stared, puzzled. He stole my work, made millions off it, fired me for being too much, and thought he was saving me with a latte. That arrogance is his undoing. Javier shook his head. The nerve of this guy. Exactly, Camilla said, passing out contracts. Horizon Strategies is official today. Our first client? Cascade Ventures. The room gasped. This morning I got an email from Taryn Wynn, Nathan's assistant and my old ally. Nathan's panicking. Last quarter's numbers tanked, and he's desperate for a consulting firm to optimize operations. She projected Tara's email. Mr. Caldwell wants a discreet, top-tier consulting firm. He mentioned meeting an inspiring young entrepreneur yesterday and wants to support new talent. The room erupted in laughter. He doesn't know it's me, Camilla said, her voice heavy with irony. To him, I'm just a struggling black woman he helped. Now he's begging to hire the company I built to fix his mess. Lena grinned. He's paying you to torch him. Better yet, Camilla opened another folder. Tara leaked the client's Cascade lost this year $65 million in contracts. Guess who's snapping them up? Priya caught on. You're already poaching his clients. Not poaching, Camila corrected. Offering better service. Capitalism, baby. Javier flipped through the documents, stunned. This is $65 million and counting. And it's just the start, Camila said. Tomorrow, Horizon Strategies pitches Cascade to solve their problems. We'll use Nathan's own playbook against him. She opened her laptop, revealing a pitch deck fed by Tara's intel. Every flawed strategy, every misstep, Nathan called visionary. I'll show the board, with data, that he's driving Cascade off a cliff, and he'll invite the tech press to watch, thinking he's showcasing his genius. Her phone pinged. Tara again. Meeting set for 3 p.m. tomorrow. Nathan wants the full board and media there. Says it's a turning point for Cascade. Camila showed the team, and a collective smile spread. A turning point, all right, she said softly. Just not his. As the team finalized plans, Camila gazed out at Seattle's skyline. Nathan was probably bragging about his good deed over craft beers at a Belltown bar, clueless that he'd just lit the fuse on his own downfall. Men like him never grasped that underestimating a brilliant black woman wasn't just bias. It was career suicide. The showdown. At 3:00 p.m., Camila strode into Cascade's boardroom, a leather portfolio in hand and a smile that betrayed nothing of the reckoning to come. Nathan, at the head of the table, beamed like a tech mogul closing a Series A round. Beside him sat 12 execs and 4 reporters from TechCrunch and GeekWire, invited to chronicle his bold leadership. Everyone, meet Camila Santos, CEO of Horizon Strategies, Nathan announced, chest puffed. A rising star I met yesterday here to elevate Cascade's efficiency. Camila nodded, syncing her laptop. Thank you, Nathan. I'm here to address Cascade's challenges. Challenges? Nathan chuckled. Let's say opportunities. No, Nathan. Challenges. Camila clicked her first slide. Based on your internal data, Cascade is 9 months from insolvency. Nathan's grin faltered. The execs shifted nervously. Let's start simple, Camila continued. In 24 months, Cascade lost $65 million in contracts. Can anyone explain why? Silence. She clicked again, playing an audio clip. Nathan's voice filled the room. Our team's leaner than competitors. Less diversity means less noise, more focus. Nathan blanched. Did you think firing 17 brilliant people wouldn't leave a paper trail? Camilla's smile was ice. Next, why did key clients bail? She displayed Slack messages Priya had recovered. Too much diversity hurts our brand. Camilla's too aggressive for her spot. A reporter scribbled furiously. That's out of context, Nathan barked, standing. Is it? Camila countered, unfazed. She unleashed a 25-minute evisceration, bigoted Slack chats, recordings of Nathan's xenophobic rants, falsified diversity stats for federal contracts, and, most damning, proof he'd stolen Camila's sustainability plan, which earned him millions while she was shown the door. Who are you? Nathan stammered, sweating. Camilla's smile was 2 years of pain, 6 months of planning, and justice finally served. I'm Camila Santos, your former chief strategy officer, the one you fired for being too intense, the one you bought coffee for, thinking you were saving me. The room was a tomb. Nathan gripped the table, legs wobbling. And here's the kicker, Camila said. The 17 people you fired for not fitting your vibe? We've built companies that now control $150 million in contracts, 4 times Cascade's revenue. She flashed a slide listing Horizon's clients, all ex-Cascade accounts. A reporter gasped. What's next for Cascade? A GeekWire journalist asked. Camila eyed Nathan, now slumped in his chair. Arrogance has a cost. Irrelevance. She closed her laptop. Horizon isn't here to save Cascade. We're here to show what happens when you build an empire on bias and incompetence dressed as legacy. Nathan croaked. You planned this? Every step, Camila said, grabbing her portfolio. Every slight, every theft, every smirk. I turned them into fuel. She paused at the door.
Oh, and Nathan? Thanks for the coffee. Most expensive $5.80 you'll ever spend.
As she exited, phones erupted. Investors, clients, and partners, watching via a reporter's live stream, were pulling funds and contracts. Nathan's empire was imploding in real time, all because he underestimated the wrong woman. 18 months later, Camilla sat in her corner office atop a Fremont high-rise, Seattle's skyline framed by floor-to-ceiling windows. Horizon Strategies was the West Coast's premier consulting firm with $280 million in annual revenue.
Ms. Santos, Fast Company's here for the cover story,
her assistant buzzed. Camilla smiled. The magazine had named her CEO of the Year, the first black woman in a decade. The headline, From Fired to Fortune, How a $5 Coffee Built a $280 Empire. Across town, in a cramped Renton apartment, Nathan Caldwell typed a resume on a refurbished Dell. Cascade Ventures had tanked 7 months after Camilla's presentation. Investors yanked $500 million, clients fled, and a federal probe slapped the firm with crippling fines. Nathan lost his Lake Washington mansion, his Tesla Cybertruck, his accounts, all seized for debts. His wife divorced him, taking half the scraps. His kids, mortified, disowned him. Seeking entry-level roles, Nathan muttered, crafting a LinkedIn bio. 52, former CEO of a defunct tech firm, eager to contribute to inclusive teams. The irony stung. During Camilla's Fast Company interview, the reporter asked when she'd decided to dismantle Nathan.
Not when he fired me, Camilla said. Not when he stole my plan. It was the coffee. He didn't see a peer in a rough moment. He saw a lesser person who needed his pity. That's who he was.
Weeks later, the magazine hit stands. Camilla's photo blazing. The $5 reckoning that toppled a tech titan. Priya, now Horizon's CTO, burst into Camilla's office, grinning. You gotta see this. She showed a LinkedIn video of Nathan pitching himself. I'm Nathan Caldwell, seeking opportunities in diverse, collaborative settings. Diverse. Camilla laughed. His buzzwords now.
There's more,
Priya said.
He emailed me, asking if Horizon has openings.
She displayed Nathan's message. I'd love to apply for any role. My leadership experience could add value to Horizon's mission of integrity. Javier, now CMO, overheard. He tanked 17 careers, stole your work, lied to the feds, and now wants us to hire him? I replied, Priya said, smirking. Mr. Caldwell, thank you for your interest. Unfortunately, your experience doesn't align with Horizon's values of respect and merit. Best HR. Camilla gazed out at Seattle. Somewhere, Nathan was bombing another interview, explaining to 20-something recruiters why his firm collapsed. The best part, she said, it's not that we crushed Nathan, it's that we proved talent doesn't care about race, gender, or class. We built a company where people like us don't settle for scraps. Javier nodded. 17 rejects turned millionaires. That's a revolution. And we did it clean, Priya added. No dirty tricks, just skill outshining privilege. Camilla smiled. Nathan thought he was a hero for buying my coffee. He didn't know those $5.80 would cost him everything. She looked at her team, survivors of Nathan's bias, now leading a powerhouse. The real revenge wasn't destroying him. It was building what he couldn't fathom, proving that underestimating us doesn't just lose you talent, it creates your rivals. That evening, Camilla stopped by the same coffee shop. The barista, now wearing a mariner's cap, recognized her from Fast Company's cover. Miss Santos, honored to serve you. She ordered her latte, paid with a limitless Amex, and smiled as it cleared. No smug execs, no pity, just a black woman CEO, proving daily that the best revenge isn't settling scores, it's soaring beyond reach. If this story inspires you to rise above those who underestimate you, follow for more tales of justice-fueled empires. Because while some buy coffee out of pity, others build legacies out of resolve.